This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice. Please seek a medical professional or healthcare provider if you're seeking any medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Thanks, everyone. Hi, welcome back to our show.
You go first.
Wait, welcome back to our show. Do we always say that?
Yeah.
No.
Well, kind of, but you say
This is funny medicine. Okay. All right. Hi.
Hey.
We've recorded this like 3 times already.
Yeah, probably.
Welcome back to our show. This is Funny Medicine. I'm Evie.
I'm Julie.
And today, what are we talking about?
We are recapping menus.
Finally.
Yeah,
we haven't done this in a really long time.
And there's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
So obviously, we're not going to cover everything because it's literally impossible. Obviously, we're not capable of covering everything.
Yeah.
But at least the things that you probably saw online, bumped into or whatever, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. And things that we really thought that if maybe you didn't hear about it, maybe you should hear about it. So
Yes.
Here we go.
All right. So let's talk about the first one, the 6 common supplements that could be harming your liver by Stephanie Brown, published on June 2nd, 2025 on Very Well Health. Very Well Health reviewed 6 popular supplements tied to liver problems. They reviewed turmeric, green tea, ashwagandha, Garcinia Cambodia, Cambodia, not Cambodia, Cambodia. Is that how you say it? Cambodia or Cambodia?
Oh God, I would say Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Yeah, but definitely not Cambodia.
Not Cambodia.
You were the first one today, okay? It's usually me.
I know. Red yeast rice and also black cohosh.
We're gonna say it's cohosh. That's what I thought.
Black cohosh.
Yeah.
Okay. What the risks look like. So turmeric, higher risk with pills designed for high absorption, especially those mixed with black pepper extract. I'm not sure if I didn't even know this, but you need black pepper to activate turmeric, which is interesting.
But then that concoction makes this
Like a bomb, apparently. Green tea extract as well, concentrated forms can actually stress the liver. Regular brewed tea is fine. Ashwagandha linked to liver inflammation and severe jaundice in several countries, actually. And then Garcinia Cambogia connected to moderate to severe liver injury, even rare transplants. So much liver injury that it results in requiring a transplant.
from a frickin' supplement.
I know. So red yeast rice contains the same chemical as a statin drug, which sometimes can also cause liver enzymes to go up. So maybe some liver injury within weeks. And then the potency varies a lot by the brand. Black cohosh is used for menopause, but mislabeling is common, and some products have been linked to liver damage as well. So why does this matter? Supplements in general don't need FDA approval before they hit the shelves. Labels can be wrong, and multi-ingredient detoxes or fat burner blends raise the risk even more because they're just adding a ton of things together at probably doses that maybe someone shouldn't be ingesting. And then it can actually lead to harm. Tips for you, just keep the list of what you take and share it with your physician. Pick products tested by trusted third-party programs like USP or NSF. That's usually what I do.
And they have a
They have a logo. They have a
little
specific logo. And then skip the flashy blends. Also, know the red flags of liver trouble, fatigue, nausea, belly pain, dark urine, itchy skin, yellowing of the skin and the eyes. If these show up, stop the product and immediately get some care. You definitely don't want to leave anything just cooking when it comes to your liver.
Yeah.
Just the takeaway point is natural doesn't always mean that it's safe. If you plan to use any of these supplements, talk to your clinician first and just keep an eye on these symptoms. So it's very scary, the world that we live in with the supplement world. First of all, I think the supplement world is a complete business.
It's billions of dollars worth.
If you are not in lack of something or deficient in something, then I don't understand why taking something is going to improve.
It's such a market.
It is. It's such a market. It's a business. There's there's a lot of con artists that are really good at convincing you that it's going to make you feel better. And
it's just everywhere. It's like it's penetrated everywhere into like podcasts that you see, commercials, anything.
And this goes for anything, including children and babies. Okay. So just because it has an FDA sticker
It's crazy.
does not mean that it's FDA approved. I had a friend of mine bring in a supplement that he was taking and he told me, well, it's FDA approved. And then I was like, that's kind
Right.
of weird. Not, like the supplements and
Yeah.
it's not like really FDA regulated.
Which is wild.
Yeah, I know.
That's a whole other conversation, but that's
Yeah.
wild how like we could ingest these things and not be
And
like
that's why these other like NSF exist.
USP or whatever.
Yeah.
All those things.
It's why the USP and NSF actually exist to confirm all these claims, ingredients, what it's actually doing,
Right.
basically everything. It's like a third party verification. And lo and behold, it had an FDA sticker. And then I said, man, that is really weird. How is that
Yeah.
legal?
Yeah.
So I went online and I looked and I was just looking at all the information up on the website of this supplement. And the reason why they put, and on the website has a massive FDA on it. And the only reason why they put that is because it is made in an FDA approved facility.
Wild
So-
loophole. Wild.
Yes. So, yes, the building that it is made in
Yeah.
was approved by the FDA, but the actual product is not approved by the FDA.
It's wild. That's
And
crazy
that
sauce.
can be confusing for
Of
anyone.
course. That's just a marketing loophole.
And
with
honest-
legal
Honestly,
loophole.
that has to be illegal. How can you market
But it's-
something with an FDA sticker?
But it's not because the
Yeah.
fine print is like
They mentioned that it is an FDA approved facility.
facility.
Yeah.
We never said it's FDA approved.
Yes. Awful.
It's
Awful.
God. Like sometimes I'm just like, wow, but then I'm like, oh wow.
Just people
It's
trying to get your money.
Oh, for sure. Anyway, so next one. 8 healthy babies born after IVF using DNA of 3 people. This was all over my feed. I'm like, we need to cover this ASAP. And I kind of debated into like doing an episode on it, but I want to do an IVF episode.
Yeah.
I'll save it for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this. So this is by Ian Sample on Wednesday, July 16, 2025, reported on The Guardian. Doctors in the UK report 8 healthy babies born using IVF with DNA from 3 people. So the goal is to block serious mitochondrial diseases passed from mother to child. If you didn't know, the mitochondrial DNA comes from mom, not from dad. That's why it's mentioned here. Why is this needed? Because faulty mitochondria can cause muscle weakness, seizures, heart problems, and even early death. Anyway, standard IVF can't fix that because every egg may carry the defect because every egg comes from mom. So how it works, doctors fertilize a mother's egg and a donor egg. They move the parent's DNA into the donor's fertilized egg that has healthy mitochondria. The baby keeps the parent's genes, but uses the donor's mitochondria. It's so, like the way that is like how you got to that thought is just like, wow. Anyway. So the baby keeps the parent's genes but uses the donor's mitochondria, right? So what we know so far is that all 8 babies are healthy with normal early checkups, at least during their early checkups. A small amount of faulty mitochondria sometimes carried over, but levels were too low to cause disease. So that's pretty damn good. Doctors will keep monitoring, obviously. The safety and the access to this new IVF situation, experts are cautiously optimistic. Long-term health data is definitely still needed. The UK legalized this in 2015 under strict rules, and now it's only available at a licensed center in Newcastle. So the takeaway about this is that for families at high risk, 3-person IVF offers a real option for them. And when nothing existed for that.
Yeah.
With careful screening and lifelong follow-up, that will definitely be needed. Like you're going to need a lifelong follow-up, but at least you have that option now. That's great. And it's so interesting. It's the fact that you could like do all of this.
To me, it's just
like, wow.
insane how much medicine has advanced
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
And then we have people out there that are just shitting on scientists.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't make any
so
sense.
sad. We're talking about really, making a wish come true for someone in the healthiest way possible.
Yep.
It's just, it's insane to me.
Yeah, no, this is like perfect proof of the power that like
Do you know what
real
it
medicine
is
and science
to
can
get
do.
an egg? First of all, how hard it is.
Yeah.
to get the eggs,
Right.
get the sperm, fertilize the egg. It's like every obstacle that you need to go through. After that, see if it's viable, genetic testing, all these things. And then now they take an extra step, okay, for like like maybe moms that have mitochondrial diseases, and they take that DNA and they just use another donor. So it's almost like IVF surrogacy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
exactly it.
crazy.
That's wild. It's
Crazy.
wild that we've been able to like come up with that. But yeah,
So insane.
it is.
All right. So the Trump administration yanks $15 million in research
I'm glad you're
into
reading this one.
PFAS and U.S. farms, not just.
I know. That's why I'm glad that she's reading this, because this is rage bait for
Yes,
you.
it just boils my blood so much. It's not just stupid. It's evil. Okay?
Yeah.
This is by Tom Perkins on the 15th of July, 2025, and this was posted on The Guardian. So The Guardian says that Trump administration cut about $15 million in EPA research on PFAS, also known as that forever chemical that's inside everything. So 10 university projects were stopped and only 2 later got funding back. Let me say that again. They got funding back, okay? Meaning, so they were already approved for this research and they got it snatched. It was snatched away from them, and only 2 got that funding back. So what is a PFAS? They're man-made chemicals, okay, that basically don't break down. They build up in people over time. They've been linked to cancer, liver, kidney problems, high cholesterol, pregnancy issues, and weaker vaccine response as well. So why the farms matter. Many fields use sewage sludge as fertilizer. The sludge can carry PFAS into soil. That can lead to contamination of our water, contamination of our crops, and then even animals. Maine found 84 farms contaminated and set up to a $70 million aid fund. One study showed that eating just 10 tainted blueberries could equal to drinking a liter of contaminated water with PFAS over the federal safety limit. Why that research mattered, if it's not already obvious, these studies were checking on how PFAS moved through crops and livestock and testing ways to reduce that contamination. So you have a problem, now you want to see how you can resolve that problem or how you can make it safer or make it better, and Trump administration just snatched that away. So without that, right, families, farmers, all of them, they're going to lose guidance on how to protect food and water. So the takeaway is that PFAS on farms is a real food and water problem, and the research cuts slow down the answers. For now, you're basically just going to have to follow local advisories. And
because they're so accurate all the time.
Yeah. Or like on time, right?
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
And basically, you're going to have to follow local advisories, support testing of like wells and farms, and back policies that keep these chemicals out of the fertilizer and in the food chain. So it's just,
So
there's
backwards.
research for important things like this. And we live in a world where everyone and their mother is now talking about microplastics.
Exactly.
So then,
But
this,
it just doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make any sense. Honestly, the world that we're living in is a weird world.
It
But
really is. And that's why it's beyond the definition of stupid. At this point, it's evil because it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, and we're taught like from a young age to recognize a problem and then see how you can fix it. Right? Like engineers, scientists, just everything in life, really. If you have a problem, you need to think about how you can fix it.
Exactly.
So here we are. We have a big problem that can lead to contamination of our soil, our water, our crops, our animals, and it's really unsafe for us.
Yeah.
And there's research dedicated to that, and funding is just taken away because it's not that important.
I don't even know. I don't even know. So next one, inside the Silicon Valley push to breed super babies. This is where we're going to do an episode in the future of epigenetics. We're going to do it because I've been kind of like avoiding it because it's very
Dense.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, you could really like go down a slope on that. But it's just everything in this climate is kind of like really hinting over like epigenetics for many reasons for whatever. Anyway, and this is a new latest one. So yes, you did hear that right. Silicon Valley is now into this. This is by Elizabeth Dwoskin and woo, Torbati.
Yegane? Yegane?
That
Yegane Torbati.
Torbati on July 16, 2025 on the Washington Post. The Washington Post profiled orchid.
Every time I hear Washington Post,
What?
I think of the TikToker that makes fun of Caroline Levitt.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh my God, what's her name? Lysandra Velasquez. I don't know, something like that.
Uh-huh.
But she's always making fun of Caroline
Yeah.
Levitt. And she's like, she'll always say like Washington Post. So now you just said it. I'm just like, Washington Post.
I haven't seen it. I gotta see it.
What? You've never seen her
I don't
making
think I
fun
have.
of her? Okay, we have to look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Washington Post profiled Orchid, a startup offering full genome testing on IVF embryos. From just 5 cells, they claim they can read the embryo's entire DNA and screen for over 1,200 single gene diseases. Great. They also generate polygenetic risk scores for common conditions like cancer, Alzheimer's, obesity, and even mental health disorders. Now, what this means is Orchid, this company, markets it as extra information for parents choosing embryos. The first Orchid baby, quote unquote, was born in late 2023, and the test is now in about 100 US clinics. The cost? About $2,500 per embryo, on top of an IVF cycle that can cost around $20,000. Oversight is light, and few rules exist around this type of prediction. Obviously, there's a lot of concerns, but let's dive into some of them. Experts say reading a full genome from a tiny biopsy can introduce errors. They also point out that polygenetic scores are weak at predicting outcomes for one individual, especially for complex traits like intelligence. Because yes, that's one of the things that they're trying to like look for.
It's so scary. It's just weird. It just feels cringy.
But we're gonna like make the gap that already exists socioeconomically now is going to be have an extra layer with actual humans
Yeah.
making a gap there.
gap,
Do
yeah.
you understand?
Yeah.
That's the fucked up part about this.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna be people that could pay for it.
Yeah.
So you're making these classes.
Yes, exactly. It's just, it all sounds so creepy to me.
It is. And there's like a movie on exactly about this. I forgot the name of it, but it's back in the 90s. It's Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke. And it is exactly this.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
And it's like they look down on people that are like, that were born with not through this type of thing, like so you and I, as like inferior and whatever, because obviously like they weren't, their genes weren't like
Really perfect.
it's crazy. Anyway, so these scores are also less accurate for people with non-European ancestry, raising fairness issues. You see what I mean? This is like, anyway, so Medical Society View. The American College of Medical Genetics says benefits are unproven and advises against offering these tests right now. Orchid's stance, the company says patients are told not to discard embryos based on these results. They emphasize the value of screening for clear single gene diseases. So they're
We're
like,
not telling you that your egg is messed up. You know, or like, no, let me back up. We're not telling you to not pick it, but we're just saying it's messed up. Like,
you see? This is wild. This is wild.
I love how that's their response. It's like, we're not telling you to get rid of the egg, but it looks like it's gonna come with some problems. Like,
But you know,
is it the brightest color in the box? No.
I wouldn't pick it.
Yeah.
If it were me,
I wouldn't pick it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But you do you.
But you do you, exactly. We're just here to give you the information.
And what I love about this is that they like tag on to, oh no, we're testing for diseases.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but intelligence?
Yeah.
Where? So you see what I mean? So they're like just piggybacking on, oh no, this is all for the diseases,
Yeah,
guys.
what sounds nice on paper, but like what's the reality is completely different.
You're cherry picking here.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they're And so back to this, what I was saying is that they emphasize the value of screening for clear single gene diseases, right? Because that's their main goal here, with polygenetic scores as an optional extra.
Great.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. So now not only they screening your egg for what they say diseases, now they're also giving it a score. Like he got an A and he got a C plus. Like,
It's wild. So the ethics about this, right? So supporters see this as informed choice. Critics warn it edges towards selective reproduction and eugenics with
and that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of eugenics when Hitler was trying to breed
it's literally it.
have a population of just blue-eyed blonde hair.
I mean, you're cherry picking your baby here.
Yeah.
With only wealthy families able to access it. The takeaway is that Orchid's tech gives parents more data, but the science is still uncertain. The rules are thin, and the ethical debate is massive. If you consider it, ask your clinic what's proven and what's experimental, and how results would shape your decisions at the long run.
Yeah. I am totally in support of what we just previously talked about, which was the mitochondria.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's for
children,
diseases.
children, adults, individuals with mitochondrial disease it can be really bad for that person. And sometimes it can actually kill or leave them with long-term disabilities. I understand to a certain extent wanting to maybe minimize the risk of a genetic disease. But when it comes to like eye color, how intelligent, hair color, skin color, male, female, like all these, you're kind of going a little bit further than what it's just screening for diseases.
Yeah. And we don't know the long-term effects of this.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the situation. Yeah, I know IVF has been around for a while. I'm not talking about IVF, but I'm talking about so much editing.
Yeah.
What is that? Do we really know?
Yeah.
Because if you're messing around with that already at a point, okay, but like, how about if you go past, if you keep editing, it's like a software, right? If you keep editing that software, that code, the more you edit it from its original, the more, down the line, I don't know the terminology behind it, but the more repercussions, I guess, it could happen. But you're modifying it to a certain extent that, I don't know.
You're just getting,
what else is it going to affect?
you're also getting rid of just like variation in general. So everyone is going to kind of have the same like genetics.
It's
per
just,
se.
it's
And I know this is
really,
epigenetics, but kind of genetics as well.
yeah. It's a lot.
It can get real deep.
That's what I'm saying. Like that episode, like I want to do it, but I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
know.
a lot.
Seriously. All right, so now talking a little bit more on obesity. So new obesity definitions raises the number of who actually has it. So this was by Miriam E. Tucker on July 8, 2025, and this was on Medscape. Medscape reports a new research that goes beyond just BMI. Using a European framework, about 1 in 5 U.S. adults are labeled overweight by BMI would now be reclassified as having obesity.
I mean,
yeah.
that tracks.
Yeah, that tracks. I'm with you on this.
Yeah.
So far, correct. So what changed? Obesity is defined as either a BMI of 30 or higher or a BMI of 25 to 29.9 with a waist to height ratio of 0.5 or more. It's a lot of math.
yeah. But those are that's the
definition.
The definition.
So
Exactly.
us, at least one health problem linked to excess fat. Okay, this shifts the focus from weight alone to where the fat sits on how it affects health. What the study found was looking at over 44,000 U.S. adults, nearly 19% of people are in the overweight BMI range, and they were reclassified. These people had more health problems like high blood pressure and arthritis. Their risk of death was higher than healthy weight people, but similar to people of normal weight who already had health issues, if that makes sense. While this matters, BMI alone can miss risky belly fat and real world complications. Adding waist size and health problems may actually catch people earlier where the treatment is actually going to work best. You want to target something ahead of time, not later on when everything is already developed. Takeaways. Waist matters. A waist to height ratio of 0.5 or higher signals a higher risk. Ask your clinician about blood pressure, glucose, sleep apnea, joint pain, and mental health. Early care can include nutrition, activity, sleep, stress, When I mean stress, I mean stress management. Medications can help, or procedures. The goal is a better health, not chasing a single number. We are looking at the patient in general.
Globally, yeah.
Yes. I mean, this is super important. And this is why I cannot stress enough your annual visits to your physician.
Absolutely.
And I really feel like that has been somehow lost.
Yeah.
Because again, it's once a year. I can see how it can be kind of difficult to kind of just be like, oh, I haven't seen my doctor this year. But the point I try to make with health visits is that when you're sick, when you have a problem, you should go to the doctor and discuss those problems. You shouldn't wait until your one annual visit to target all these problems, because really your annual visit is like what we consider in peds like a well visit.
Yeah.
You're actually, okay, now we can focus on things to prevent disease, right? So that's going to be looking at your weight, looking at your lifestyle, looking at your social lifestyle. How old are you? What's your family history? Should we be screening you for something? Do you have any questions about anything in general? So obviously this is the purpose of an annual check. It's to get your screening. It's to prevent you. It's to prevent you from getting sick. It's to catch things early on if we do catch it, right? And answer any questions that might actually be red flags to physician. Unfortunately, when you go to the doctor just once a year and you have a slew of problems, it really takes away that time that we have to ask these questions to make sure that we are taking care of you as best as possible.
Exactly.
So please go to your annual visits. And that goes for like all across the board, from infants, children, adults, adolescents, adults, and geriatrics.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Alrighty. More on things that are out there to kill us. Prenatal exposure.
We're just like in the Australia of things. Everything is out to get us.
This is the life that we're all living in now. So we might as well, that's it. We are in the Australian timeline.
Yeah.
For some reason, we've all gotten here. So
no offense to Australia. It's just like every animal.
You're wild. You're wild. And that's okay. We live in the Australia of the US. We're here in Florida. So we get it.
Wild.
We freaking get it. Anyway, prenatal exposure to common pesticide linked to brain abnormalities. Awesome. By Damien McNamara on August 19, 2025 on Medscape. So a new JAMA neurology study links higher exposure to pesticide
chlorpyrifos. God damn.
You see?
Chlorpyrifos.
What she said, what I attempted to say.
Okay, no, wait. So there's a new article in JAMA Neurology that is talking about a pesticide, chlorpyrifos. Okay? We're not going to say that word anymore.
That is it.
Pesticide.
That particular pesticide. Okay. So during pregnancy, so when you're exposed to this particular pesticide during pregnancy with brain changes and weaker motor skills in kids and teens. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what the study did, researchers followed a New York City birth group of over 700 pregnancies. Brain scans were done on more than 300 children between ages of 6 and 15. Most exposure came from indoor pest spraying before the chemical was banned in homes in 2001. So what they found is that kids exposed to more of this pesticide showed brain changes on MRI, including altered white matter and lower blood flow. They also scored worse on motor skills like coordination and planning. So what these pesticides are, it's an insecticide still used in the U.S. agriculture. It can enter through food, skin, or even just breathing. During pregnancy, it crosses the placenta and can build up in higher levels in the baby than in the mother. The policy backdrop on all of this, right? Because how the hell is this even like a thing, you know? The EPA banned food uses in 2021, but that was overturned in 2023. In 2024, the EPA proposed keeping it for 11 crops with new worker protections. Guys, why are we putting it in crops, period? It's not even the worker protections, it's the people that are going to consume it afterwards.
Yeah.
So some states like California, Hawaii, New York, Maryland, and Oregon have banned it outright.
Yay,
Good.
Florida.
Yeah, of course we're not there.
Yeah, of course we're not on that list.
What parents can do is limit indoor pesticide use, wash and peel produce when possible, and mix up food choices to avoid repeat exposure. Farm families should follow protective rules, and pregnant workers should avoid handling these pesticides completely. And the takeaway about this is that this particular pesticide exposure in pregnancy is linked to lasting brain effects in kids. Prevention during pregnancy matters. Use safer pest control, smart food handling, and workplace protections when and if available, but just avoid it at all costs because that is incredibly dangerous and scary.
I've always been afraid of, okay, how can I explain it? I'm not like 100% no on pesticides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, I'm always very wary of what is going inside the house.
Yeah.
How am I being exposed to it? What kind of pesticide it is? Really like kind of looking into it, making sure that it's safe.
Yeah.
There is a lot of documented data showing that families that live next to farms actually do have a lot of these problems, and they do associate it to these crazy pesticides that they use.
It's scary.
And then the question doesn't stop at just at that exposure, because they said like it was only going to be used for 11 crops, but they took like certain precautions for like the workers. But that's something that's actually going onto our food as well.
That's what I'm saying.
So but I can't even imagine those people that are really truly just exposed. And a lot of these farmers, workers in these places live next door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they don't live far from where they work.
They're always exposed.
They're always exposed, exactly.
And then that means like even their water for bathing, for regular usage in the house, for drinking can also be exposed because I think we covered it in a previous recap of like how seepage, it could potentially go into your regular usage water in some way, somehow, and all that stuff. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So
Perfect.
AAP.
Perfect. I'm so glad it
I'm
hit you.
so happy I'm taking charge of this one. All right, so the AAP counters the ACIP guidance on vaccinations. In the new immunization schedule, just a little random tidbit.
She's a pediatrician,
here.
if you guys didn't know.
However, I was very let down during the whole entire change in the administration, because there was actually a lot of doctors that voted for the people that are leading us now that are clearly not suited for the job.
Yeah.
And I was very let down because I felt that all of our organizations, like no one was speaking up.
Yeah.
And there was a point there where I was actually angry with the American Academy of Pediatrics because I did not feel like they were coming out to stand up and stand our ground. When they finally came out and spoke out about all the dangers of everything. And this is not just RFK Jr. Like, we're talking about the new people that he's putting on to look over these vaccines.
Yeah, of course.
All these committees that he's completely dismantling. And when they finally came out and spoke against everything that was going on, and they said, fine, you don't want to give us a good research on vaccinations, we're going to come up with our own. And even then, they went back. All of these people went back and said that the AAP benefits from this. No, they used science like we always have. You're just pissed off that we're standing up to you.
It's just, I don't understand how people, like, guys, we live double the length that we used to live just because of all of our medical advances. So what are you trying to get back to? Because that's like the main thing of these like anti-vaccine community thing. It's like, oh, because back then. And I'm like, how many things were not working out for us back then?
Yes. And also, you're not going to see the effects now. You're going to see that down the road.
But we already did retrospectively.
Yes.
Look back to your back then see how we were doing all like health-wise.
But everything that they're doing now, all the damage that they're doing, we're not going to see until later. So that's why they're kind of just like, great. But 10, 15 years later, we'll see how that's going to work out.
Absolutely.
But anyways, so yes, the AAP counters the ACIP guidance on vaccinations in the new immunization schedule. This was by Whitney McKnight on August 20th, 2025, and this was posted on Medscape. The American Academy of Pediatrics released its 2025 immunization schedule Unlike federal guidance, the AAP now recommends universal COVID-19 vaccination for all children 6 to 23 months of age, plus updates for RSV and flu. Just so that everyone understands, this was for like respiratory season. This isn't like the whole entire vaccine schedule. This was specifically the recommendations for respiratory season because we're going into respiratory season. So what changed? The AAP says that kids under 2 should get COVID-19 shots unless they have an allergy. For ages 2 to 18, they recommend vaccination for only high-risk groups, like kids living with vulnerable family members, or maybe they have some sort of compromisation that needs to be addressed or be protected with the COVID-19 vaccination. They also added the new 5-in-1 meningococcal vaccine. They adjusted HPV starting for HPV, and they also removed an older hepatitis vaccine that's no longer available. How this differs is the CDC does not call for universal COVID-19 shots for healthy children. Instead, it suggests parents and doctors can decide together. Okay?
Good.
So that's fine. The AAP takes more of a proactive. I'm not saying that the problem is parents and doctors should decide together. And that's where I think that this is like the negative toxic tone, because it makes it seem like the doctors are deciding. No. Every time you go into a clinic, it's supposed to be a parent-doctor decision. Right. It's a relationship. Please don't make it sound like we're chasing after you with like a needle. Okay? So the AAP takes more of a proactive stance for infants and young children. What both sides say, the AAP leaders argue that their schedule is evidence-based and best for kids. Now, federal officials say guidance should stay aligned and raise concerns about conflicts of interest. This is how, and honestly, I can't even believe that they're talking about conflicts of interest, because if there's one person that has a conflict of interest, it's that man. Insurance and access, right? Most insurers follow federal rules. So a split could affect coverage. If it affects coverage, that means people won't be able to pay for things. If you cannot pay for something, you cannot access it.
Right.
Okay. So it's going to lead to less accessibility for this type of protection. So the AAP urges insurers to cover its full schedule to avoid families being blocked by cost. So what parents should do is ask your pediatrician which schedule they follow and why. If your child is under the age of 2, bring up the COVID-19 vaccination now and check for RSV and flu protection. Okay. So we are going into fall and winter season right now.
AKA
flu season, respiratory season. And now with these federal changes, now basically this is a lot of misinformation that's out there. And honestly, as a pediatrician, I really fear for what flu season is going to be like this year. And we already had an awful flu season.
It was horrific.
I actually have to send you an article on like that new thing that they're seeing with flu, which is like an encephalopathy. But anyway,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But anyways, so
I'm telling you, another thing to kill us.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing to kill us. The takeaway point is that the AAP and CDC don't fully agree. Unfortunately, I can't believe that we live in a world where...
Well, I mean, the CDC was dismantled and then rebuilt.
Yeah,
so that's why they don't.
I just can't believe that we live in a world where now there's a division between the Centers of Disease Control and organizations, and it's all because of one person and their misinformation.
You know what it is? It's because
not one person, but
it's
a ton of people.
But it starts there, but then it branches off to what it really is. It's politicians sticking their noses where it doesn't belong.
Exactly.
Because if you didn't study
and none of these people are doctors.
Because if you didn't study that, then how the hell are you doing policy in it? It's like you're a pediatrician, and then you're gonna go fix a car.
Yeah, exactly.
How the fuck are you gonna fix a car?
You're Dr. Mike.
Yes, I love him.
Yeah, I love him too. I love his podcast, his channel. He's so good.
Yeah.
But he was basically saying that that's like the same comparison as going on a flight and telling the pilot that you're going to take over the airplane and drive the airplane.
Exactly. As a doctor.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you going to do that?
How?
So that's exactly my point here. I'm like, why the hell are these politicians able to do all of these radical changes on things that they don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
They don't know. They didn't go to school for it. They don't even know the terms on it.
My problem is that you can ask questions. Like, please go ahead, ask questions, be curious. And that's something that I feel like that's where the tone comes from.
Yeah.
They're saying that you can't trust your physician.
That's
right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're attacking physicians on every
aspect. It's a whole entire campaign now.
But then who the are you going to go to then when you're sick? A lawyer?
Yeah.
Because that's who he is.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like we always, actually, you're not the first person. And I feel, okay, I'm just going off on a tangent. But just to wrap things up, no, I honestly don't know one doctor that has never been like, you should do reading, like credible reading.
Yeah.
Like, let me give you sources, good sources. I'm not saying do your own research and go on a blog, okay? But do your own good resource fact checks and things like that. And you'll see that it coincides with what we're saying and what we're recommending, right? But physicians always encourage people to ask questions. Like I don't know. I can speak for myself and a lot of other physicians that we're not out here trying to just like demand that you take this, demand that you take that. Trust me, reassurance is a big part of our whole entire practice.
Another point is that they demonized you guys, like doctors and the like, of like, oh, because they're getting paid for these immunizations. I'm like, where?
It is crazy to me. I want to post my tax return. Just like, please tell me
The
where I
amount
got
of
paid.
times, oh no, our threads posts, the amount of times that I have had to like go, I'm like, please introduce me to the doctor that gets paid by Big Pharma for giving you the flu shot.
Yeah.
Please show it to me because I haven't met.
Give me the evidence.
Because I've met a shit ton of doctors in my lifetime and I haven't met a single one that has gotten a paycheck from fucking Bayer or whoever the hell.
Not one.
So
Not one.
Exactly. And you're a pediatrician. You administer a shit ton of vaccines.
Not one.
You haven't received a single one, right?
It's so crazy.
From Pfizer, from Bayer, from anybody.
Yeah. No one.
I don't get it.
No
like,
one.
and that narrative has like permeated so hard
Because of people like him.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you guys even talking about? These doctors are not getting paid for these vaccines, to give you these vaccines.
No, I know. But that's what they like choose to believe, and
It's crazy. It's
and the thing is
mayhem.
that here's the bad thing about social media too, and whatever. This is our podcast. This is what we do. We talk about all these things.
Yeah.
When you are on your like, what is that, like the logarithm of like how
the algorithm.
The algorithm. I'm like the logarithm. I'm not calculus here. The algorithm.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at a video, right?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like something, it's going to feed into more videos of similar things.
100%.
Then if you just happen to just click on a person's profile or comment on a person's video
Or like.
more of that is going to pop up on your feed. So before you know it, you are like in misinformation feed.
100%.
And it's everything that you're seeing. It really sucks. But I really do feel like part of the problem is social media and the algorithm.
And that's why I don't back down.
Yeah.
And you guys could go to our threads.
Yeah,
That
she doesn't back down.
particularly in threads, I wait for it. Yeah. And I take such joy in it. Such joy. The other day, she knew what she was doing. Okay? I'm not even going to say, look, I'm not going to give you the time of day on that and to like broadcasting your freaking name because that's what you want, attention. No. So she put there like a whole bunch of things like, oh yeah, coming from, you know what? No, I'm going to read it to you because it was epic. It was yesterday, actually. Hold on. And it wasn't even in ours. It was on mine.
It was on yours?
It was on mine. And I had said
Interesting.
about the GLP ones because Serena Williams is, so I just said diet culture failed us, which is true. When you grew up in the 90s, everybody was like this.
Yeah.
So we grew up with this anxiety about like severe calorie
diet.
severe calorie deficits and all that stuff. Whatever. Anyway, so GLP-1s didn't. Serena Williams used one, lost weight safely, and showed what evidence-based care can look like, you know? So this loser went ahead and said, wait, did she delete it?
Stop. She deleted it. What a win.
Wait, I think I have a screenshot. Haha. Not so fast. Okay. So this idiot went ahead and said, she gets paid to promote. Her husband is an investor in the distribution company. Okay, great for him. I wish I were. My bet is you are too. And evidence-based care, my Rubenesque derriere.
What?
There are no long-term studies on safety not backed by pharma. For that matter, there are few weight studies not sponsored by pharma. It is marketing, not science. I'm like,
Sure. Yeah. You just went in.
well, to the point that she deleted her comment.
Now she deleted it.
And I'm like, since you cowardly limited your replies, because that's the other thing. She posted that, and then she blocked the ability for me to comment back on her. So I'm like, nah. So I went ahead and I tagged her.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
because
God,
you
such
could
a
tag
savage.
anyone. No, I'm not. I'm like, I'm not going to let you live with this.
Yeah.
You are going to listen to me. If you wanted me to listen to you, no, you're going to listen to me.
I can't believe she blocked the comments.
Like I said, since you cowardly limited your replies to your very unsubstantiated posts, my glamorous big pharma salary, if only my Rubenesque yacht and private island would arrive on schedule. Because I don't know where it is. Where's my yacht?
Yeah.
I live in Miami, but where's my yacht?
Yeah.
It's not in Coconut Grove. It's not waiting for me there. I promise you that. Until then, I'll keep relying on boring things like peer-reviewed studies and clinical data.
Yeah.
So GLP-1 receptor agonists like semaglutide, tirzepatide, and liraglutide have multi-year randomized controlled trials showing safety and efficacy in weight management and type 2 diabetes. The STEP 5 trial, for example, followed patients for 104 weeks and showed sustained weight loss and improved cardiometabolic markers, quoting Rubino et al., Nature magazine in 2022. Okay. Cardiovascular outcome trials such as LEADER, and that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2016, and SUSTAIN-6, New England Journal of Medicine in 2016 as well, showed significant reductions in major adverse cardiovascular events, proving long-term safety beyond weight loss. Please show me your substantiations for your claims in your Rubenesque form.
Rubenesque derriere. She's so weird. Yeah, she's so weird.
Post-marketing surveillance and registry data continue to monitor adverse events as required by the FDA and EMA. Independent oversight through data safety monitoring boards prevents marketing dressed as science, okay? So yes, it is being monitored to not be just marketing. My last comment. Marketing doesn't use Kaplan-Meier survival curves, confidence intervals, or intention to treat analysis, but science does. So until you prove peer-reviewed science and medically backed evidence, accusing strangers of being paid and accusing me isn't evidence. It's projection. Have the day you deserve. Well, she deleted her comment, so I guess I won.
I can't believe she deleted her comment. I can't believe she blocked the reply.
People do that.
Good for you, Mama.
Oh no, I won't back down.
I know, Julie's actually, she is.
I won't.
She's a pit bull.
I won't. And it's like...
She has a Labrador. She has like these little fluffy dogs and they're all cute, but she's the pit bull here.
I was like, when I saw that she limited it, I made it even worse.
Yeah. That just like fueled your fire. You're like, oh no, girl, I'm going to tag you.
And now I didn't notice that she had deleted it. I was like,
oh my God. Interesting. I bet you anything she blocked you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyways, so yeah, guys.
So
okay,
we
that was a
won't...
massive tangent.
I'm sorry, but the whole point of that is that we are here to stop misinformation and we will back it up.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
if it's through the podcast, through social media, because I will. Yeah. I'm not going to just like let you guys flood our comment section with like BS.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and like...
Have you ever noticed that sometimes people reply and I honestly, I can't even follow what they're saying?
No.
So, like,
you should have seen her glamour here.
Yeah. So there's a couple people like on her TikToks that I read what they post 3 or 4 times.
You can't.
And I can't follow. I'm like, I can't fight stupid.
You can't.
I cannot fight stupid.
Because you can't speak
so
that
I just
language.
leave it alone because I'm like, I don't even know what you're arguing about.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so next one. More about things that are out there trying to kill us. Man dies after being pulled into an MRI by a metal chain that he wore.
This is a sad story.
It is sad, but it just shows, please, guys, listen to the rules.
And be careful. Like,
You know, because some people are like, do I
very
really have to take this off? I'm like, yes, you
yes,
really do.
You really have to take it off.
You really do. This is why. But like people, I guess, forget or don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, like, after we discuss what happened in the news.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was everywhere for very good reason. And I really think that it comes down to like people maybe forgetting or just not knowing how dangerous it is.
Sometimes being a little bit ignorant.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's true. Like, how many times have you really been told like the dangers of it? Like, they just tell you not to wear it. But like, as a regular
I come from
person,
like a medical world.
that's the thing.
So,
but like
for
a
me,
regular person, you don't.
just to show you, like, the whole entire article that we're going to discuss is basically, unfortunately, someone like got sucked into an MRI machine because he didn't take off his metal chain. But just so you guys know how careful we are, sometimes if a person like has a cardiac clip, like a clip, we have to research what kind of clip they put in the surgery. So go back to the op notes to see what kind of clip they put to make sure that it's MRI safe.
Yeah. Anyway, so the story is by Dakin Andon on July 20th on CNN, reported on CNN. A 61-year-old man in Long Island died after a heavy metal chain around his neck was pulled into an active MRI machine. The chain weighed about 20 pounds and became a projectile in the powerful magnetic field. He suffered critical injuries and died the next day. Police say the case is under investigation. So why is metal dangerous? MRI magnets are always on. They can pull in ferromagnetic metals with enormous force, turning them into dangerous projectiles. That's why strict screening and metal removal is required before anyone enters a scan room, like even just the room itself.
Yeah.
So safety rules in plain language. So take off all metal before an MRI. So that means your jewelry, your belts, your keys, your phone, anything, piercings, even clothing that may have like metal, so like jeans or something like that. Tell staff about implants or clips, like she literally had just said, in your body or even inside your body.
Yeah.
Only trained staff and screened visitors are allowed in the MRI room. And then what you need to tell your doctor. Mention if you have pacemakers, aneurysm clips, insulin pumps, neural stimulators, bullets or shrapnel. That happens sometimes, like from GSW injuries, or any metal fragments in your eyes. If you can't remove a metal item, ask about alternatives or extra precautions.
Yeah.
So the takeaway here is that MRIs are safe, but they are a powerful tool only if safety steps are followed. So keep metal out of the room and always speak up about your implants or past injuries before you scan.
That was a sad story.
It's really bad.
I know.
But it's just like, people don't know. Like, people don't know how powerful the MRI, because most people just go in there and it's just like this thing, and that's it. Like, you don't really know how it even works.
I know. Well, now jumping into the U.S. fertility rate reached a new low in 2024. And this
Are we shocked?
Yeah, I know. And like all the stuff that they're trying to promote, it's so stupid. So this is basically CDC data. Okay, so this was by the Associated Press on July 24th, 2025. New federal data shows that the U.S. is at an all-time low for fertility rates. It basically fell to 1.6 children per woman in 2024, a record low and well below the 2.1 needed to replace the population.
Honestly, maybe it's not a bad thing.
Joseph's just like, is that really a bad thing?
I know. There's too many of us here on this earth. So
by the numbers, about 3.6 million babies were born in 2024. That's a lot. 3.6 million babies were born in 2024.
But yet they're so gung-ho and making it more.
Yeah. And this was up 1% from 2023. The general fertility rate dropped to 53.8 births per 1,000 women ages 15 to 44. 15, okay, to 44. Birth rates fell for women ages 15 to 34 and then stayed flat for ages 35 to 39 and rose for ages 40 to 44, which I think everyone's kind of been seeing that women are starting to have later pregnancies. So teen births hit another record low, which is amazing. I don't know why they would be like, oh no. So what this means is fewer births long term can affect school sizes. I'm waiting for the problem.
You see?
The workforce. I can see that. And how we support older adults. I can see that too. The drop ties to later childbearing and broader social and economic shifts. It's expensive to have a kid. Why some numbers changed, the CDC updated its population estimates, which adjusted age-specific rates compared to earlier reports. Takeaways. Replacement is 2.1. The US is well below that. The total births rose slightly, but rates still fell because more women are in childbearing age overall. Basically, there are more women in childbearing age, but are actually not having births.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. And I think this is just, I hate how they make this sound like a problem.
Because it is a problem for them.
It is a problem for them. And I can understand there's a lot of like things that we can consider.
I'm telling you this, I'm keeping my mouth very shut.
Yeah.
Because the tangents could tangent hard
Yeah,
for me on this one.
hard here. However, women are studying more. They are choosing to lead more role.
Why do you think we're
lives.
under attack?
Yes, exactly. It's always like them like trying to like shove it down our throat, you know? Yeah. And it's, I don't want to give birth at 15. Like,
and then that's...
maybe I don't want to have 3 kids by the age of 18.
Or maybe I don't want to have 3 kids,
things.
period. Or maybe it's too damn expensive to have more than one child at this point.
I don't want to have kids.
Exactly.
You know? But it's like, they look at you like it's crazy, right? So more births are happening later, which I don't like. Great,
because later is when you're making money.
And not only that, but like you're more mature, you've lived your life a little bit more, you're ready, like you're actually ready. Yeah. I think of myself when I was 18.
Oh my God, no.
And that would have been a disaster.
Horrific.
A disaster.
For everyone involved, for me and the child.
I think this is actually responsible.
Yes.
You studied, you put your career first, you're making money, you're able to make better decisions, you're able to provide a better life for your children.
You're not a burden on the governmental funding.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, if you fall into that, you'd be a statistic.
And they can argue the whole entire, like, less people to take care of, like, you, like, when you're elderly. But when you are more mature and able to study and have a job and have a 401k and invest and do all these things to prep you for your retirement and when you are older. Okay, so I can also argue that point too.
Yeah.
But anyways, more births are happening later, especially in women in their 40s. It also makes prenatal care planning more important because obviously biological clocks work very differently. So as you age, you are at higher risks for different things, both men and women.
Yes.
You just have to plan basically ahead of time, but I don't see the problem.
I don't see it either. Yeah.
So yeah.
I just, and less people in this world is probably not a bad thing.
Yeah. And to me, did you hear that they're like, and their incentive is $5,000?
Yes.
What does that cover? That doesn't even cover diapers.
I don't get it. I'm like, oh, wow, gee, thanks.
But I'm sure there's people out there that are desperate for any kind of money and they're like, okay, well, if I have a kid, they're going to give me $5,000.
But then what with that kid? Like that kid will eat up that $5,000 and nothing.
Yep.
It's the way that they're trying so hard for us to have more kids, but then at the same time, everything is like, really, in reality, it's against us having more kids. It's just PFAS. It's not even about the money, like PFAs, everything's out to get us. And then you want us to have more kids?
More kids,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so next up, 70,000 pieces of plastic shed daily from objects in our homes. So more things out to kill us. And cars and penetrate deep inside our lungs. So by Kara Lynn Schultz on August 1st, 2025 on People Magazine. A new study says adults inhale about 70,000 tiny plastic particles every day, most from indoor air in homes and cars. That reminds me so hard of your car and the crayon smell. Like so hard. She had a VW.
Let us know if everyone feels like Volkswagens smell like crayons.
Well, at least she had a Jetta from the 90s with it.
Yeah.
Early 2000s?
No, 2004.
There you go. A 2004 Jetta. She had it for the longest. And every time you would go into that car, it literally smelled like crayons. If anybody else has experienced that, please let us know in the comments because it's...
I know it just wasn't my car. I know it's a Volkswagen thing.
It is. But I wonder if it was in that time frame, if they fixed it. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Not sure.
So many of these particles are small enough to reach deep into your lungs. What the study did, scientists measured microplastics in apartments and car cabins, then estimated daily exposure. The key numbers that they observed was that homes averaged about 528 particles per cubic meter of air. Cars were much higher, over 2,200, okay? Which makes sense. I mean, there's so much plastic in a car.
Yeah.
That adds up to about 68,000 particles inhaled per adult each day. So why cars matter? Interiors are full of plastic, from seats to dashboards, like literally almost everything. Heat and friction shed more particles, and poor ventilation makes them just build up over time. Now, in terms of health context, microplastics can carry chemicals and pollutants. Studies link them to inflammation and possible hormone effects. Go to our microplastics episode. It's one of my favorite episodes that we've done.
It was a good episode.
It was really good.
It was very informative.
Very informative and very unhinged. It was wonderful. Anyway, the Mariana Trench.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
It was that episode. It was a plastic bag.
Yeah.
The Target bag.
We don't know if it was a Target bag, but
Yeah, I'm gonna link it here if you guys are watching on YouTube. Check that episode out. You won't. Yeah. Anyway, some can even enter the bloodstream. We still need more data, but the exposure is real and constant. So what can you do about this? Because at this point you're like, well, I need a car and I need to live where I live. So use a HEPA filter, which are purifiers at home. I actually have a couple here in the house because my husband, like, he says that he's not like super like, paranoid, but if you really look through between the lines, he got those when I was pregnant. So 7 years ago, he knew about this. Don't know why, but cool. Now I read this, I'm like, there it is. Anyway, yeah, we have a huge one there. We have one in every room except this one. I'm like, don't put it in here. Like, I just told him, don't put it in here. I already have my plants. I have like I have all the plants. Okay, so that's it.
This is a natural filtering system.
Exactly. Anyway, vacuum with HEPA filter and dust with a damp cloth, or the Swiffer ones that like grab onto it. Like yeah. Instead of if not, you're just like spreading it, then you're not really doing anything. Keep your car's cabin filter fresh and use recirculation in traffic, which is that button that has like the little arrow and it goes like that.
Yeah.
And that one. So choose fewer synthetic fibers when and if you can. The takeaway is that most microplastic exposure comes from the air in our own homes and cars. Simple steps to cut dust and improve filtration can lower what you already breathe in, while science catches up for the long-term effects. This one sucks for me hard.
I was like, when I saw this, I thought of you immediately.
This is my lunch, man.
All right, guys. And also for parents, because I'm sure a lot of parents buy this for their kids.
And for us millennials.
Yeah, I was going to say, and for us,
Well, it's my lunch. And also for us millennials, like I was brought up on fucking Lunchables.
Me too. So Lunchables have concerning levels of lead and sodium.
Damn it, Lunchables.
I know. This is from Consumer Report finds. This is by Kate Gibson, and this was updated on June 7, 2024 and this was on CBS News. So CBS News reports Consumer Reports tested Lunchables and similar lunch kits and found concerning levels of sodium and lead. So let's just go over what was tested. Multiple varieties were checked for heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and also sodium per serving. The key numbers, it was 1 turkey and cheddar crackers stackers kit.
Literally my favorite.
Literally just one. Okay.
And it's my favorite, the turkey and cheddar.
Yeah. Had 74% of California's daily lead limit and almost half of the daily sodium limit for kids ages 4 to 8. And this is like the age where kids eat that. Okay. Other kits also showed high sodium and smaller amounts of heavy metals. So the company's response, Kraft Heinz, says that the products meet safety standards. Later, Lunchables were removed from the National School Lunch Program after low demand and ongoing concerns. Now, let's talk a little bit more like health context. Too much sodium in kids can really raise their blood pressure. It's not good for the kidneys. It increases heart risk later on in life. Lead exposure, even at low levels, can actually lead to learning and behavioral problems. Check out our episode on Flint, Michigan.
Yes.
Now, what parents can do. So basically just check the labels and compare sodium levels. Add fresh fruit, veggies, and water to use a kit. Don't rely on them every single day. And I can totally agree to that. I think like we also need to be realistic. I'm not saying I don't think that we should be giving with one Lunchables like half our sodium intake for a kid.
It's crazy.
However, like I understand the rush of being a parent. Yeah. And if you literally do not have time or you forgot your kid's lunch or something and you just give them a Lunchable, like they will survive. Right. They will survive. However, it shouldn't be something, it's like the same thing like having McDonald's every day. Like that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So probably having a Lunchable every day.
I'm stopping. I really am. I really am.
And MR?
Oh no, he doesn't eat it.
He doesn't eat it?
No, he doesn't like it.
Oh,
So I'm safe.
So it's just
and
you.
Laura eats the best out of this whole house. I don't know how.
I'm shocked. I thought he was eating it.
No, he tried it once and he was like, yeah, like I like it, whatever.
It was really you.
Yeah, because he saw me eat it.
Okay. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, he eats like wonderfully. I don't know where he got it from. I'm blessed.
But also, you can do like you can do your own Lunchables, and it's probably going to be way healthier.
Probably
Because
taste even better, too.
the problem is not the turkey, cheese, and crackers.
Yeah.
The problem is like that quality.
Exactly.
That
That's what I'm saying.
specific.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't rely on them every single day is basically, I think, the main point for school meals. Ask how sodium limits are going to be managed. So basically the takeaway point here is that Lunchables are legal, but probably not great as a daily staple. Just save them for like an occasional convenience and focus on meals that are more whole and fresh foods. Okay. And I think in our podcast, we really drive this in.
Absolutely.
And again, don't worry, guys. If you had a Lunchable, you'll survive. Okay. However,
I'm still here.
You're not supposed to be eating it daily. Okay.
I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. But it's just so convenient. I'm here like editing and doing a million things and I'm just like, I'm starving and then I'm just like, no. And then continue on my day.
Why don't you just make like little deli rolls?
Because then that takes me like an additional 5 minutes that I don't want to
Oh
do.
my, not a 5-minute addition.
I know. I'm horrible. I am horrible. I'm exactly the opposite of what I say to do. I get that. Like, I know. I am aware of this. I know.
I am aware.
I'm aware. And even my mom, you could tell me and I could do it. Mind you, my mom lives with me and she even tells me I could do it for you and I'd rather not. Because I'm horrible. I get it. I know. It's all bad. I know. Anyway, so next is artificial turf bad for us and our kids? How to navigate the turf wars. That's awesome because I have turf as well. Yeah. So by Michael J. Coren on August 6, 2025 on the Washington Post. The Washington Post.
Washington Post.
Why, does she hate the Washington Post or something?
No, so she was always like, Washington Post was always like on her good side, and then like she hates CNN.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, like Washington Post like kind of like said something that was like against her. So it like hurt Lysandra, which is like the person that like makes her parodies from her. She was like, Washington Post, and she'll just look at them like betrayal. You know what I mean?
So the Washington Post reviewed turf fields and filed concerns about heat, chemicals, microplastics, more microplastics, disposal, and costs compared to natural grass. So there's a heat risk, obviously. On a 94-degree day, so most of our days down here in South Florida, turf hit over 140 degrees, hotter than grass or sidewalk. At 120 degrees and up, schools often stop play to prevent burns and heat illness. Turf can even melt cleats. Okay, so
Yeah. Like you and Mario when
we went to Egypt.
and your shoes were melting.
Yeah. So Mario and I, we went to Egypt. We walked on this like marble. It was like it was the unbuilt marble obelisk. There's another name for it, but whatever. So there's a portion of it that you could actually walk at. And we're like, okay, cool. But then we're like, what the hell? Is it sticky? Did we step on something? Mario was convinced that he had stepped on like gum or something. He's like, who the fuck is going to throw gum on an obelisk that we're walking? This is ridiculous. And I'm like, Mario, it's not gum. And then he looks and it was his shoe. And the bottom of his shoe, the rubber was
Just coming off.
It wasn't like completely
Stringy.
like stringy,
Yeah.
but you could tell that it was already like misshapen, like kind of like, and we're like, oh, okay, that's our cue to leave.
Yeah, we gotta go. We
gotta go. Of course, it was like Egypt at like 11 in the morning. It was 100 degrees already. So that marble was probably
roasting there.
Exactly. So yes, it's real, guys. Anyways, so what the fields are made of: turf, which is plastic grass with infill. So that infill, quote unquote, it could be God knows what. Most use crumb rubber from about 40,000 ground up tires per field. Alternatives like cork exist, but tire crumb is still the norm, and it's probably a lot cheaper than cork.
Yeah.
Chemicals and health. The crumb rubber contains these PFAS that we were just talking about earlier in the episode. Phthalates, lead, cadmium, arsenic, and more. Some are linked to cancer and hormone disruption. An EPA study found these chemicals on surfaces and skin, though not yet at high levels in players' bodies. Experts say evidence is still limited and more studies are needed. But in terms of the environmental and disposal, turf sheds microplastics into waterways. Of course, I mean, it's literally plastic. Recycling is poor. Most old fields end up in landfills or they're just stockpiled. Cost and play. So tips for families: pick grass when possible. If you use turf, play early or late in hot days. Wash skin after play. Don't eat on the field, and watch for heat exhaustion, headache, nausea, dizziness, and stop activity if symptoms appear. And then just the overall takeaway on this: turf offers more playtime, but heat and environmental concerns are real. Follow simple safety steps and ask schools or leagues about safer infills, cooling plans, and even recycling.
Yep.
So this next one, I don't know if you had heard of it, but it's freaking scary shit, man.
Meta violated by, yeah.
I hate this.
I didn't get to read the actual article.
Ugh, I hate this so much. I did like a short little video on it that I will post on our page eventually.
Oh, just trying to get closer to Julie.
On our socials eventually, but this is... Go ahead. This
All right,
is
so
crazy
California,
stuff. I hate this.
yeah, I just by the title, I can already think I'm gonna hate it. So California jury rules Meta violated privacy law in cases involving the period tracking app. So this is by Jonathan Vanian on August 7th, and this came out on NBC News. So a California jury found Meta guilty of illegally collecting sensitive data from the app Flow, which is a massive period tracking app. So this case said Meta broke California privacy laws, and the company plans to actually appeal. So what is it that happened? So, and when did it happen? Between 2016 and 2019, Flow sent Meta a custom app events, okay, through embedded software. That meant that private reproductive health details were shared without consent. So how many people were kind of affected by this? Reports actually say that this could affect millions of Flow users in the US. One estimate is about 3.7 million. And really, under California law, damages can reach up to $5,000 per violation if applied widely, and that could add up to billions. So why HIPAA didn't apply? HIPAA covers doctors and health plans. For those of you that don't know what HIPAA is, it's basically like your protection of your medical information. Now, it doesn't apply in most consumer apps, okay? So the same protections don't extend to the data that you enter in your period tracking app, but it should, right?
It should.
That's your health, right?
It should.
So what you can do now is check your app settings and turn off ad tracking. Use your phone's privacy tools to limit cross-app data sharing. Delete your apps that you don't use. And if you need a tracker, ask whether it's covered by HIPAA or state health data laws. So takeaway is that health apps may feel medical, but most aren't protected, like your doctor's note-taking or EMR systems, okay? So this case shows the risk. Just protect your data by limiting tracking and choosing apps with stronger privacy safeguards. It's just, I don't understand how it is so stringent. HIPAA is crazy, like crazy strict. Just so everyone knows, if I go to the hospital, right, and I want to look at my chart, I cannot log on as Yvette as a doctor to my chart.
Okay.
That's a HIPAA violation. I have to go through Yvette Gonzalez, not doctor,
Right.
through my chart,
Through your
right,
patient.
through my patient portal,
Yeah.
to look at my information. That is how strict HIPAA is. I cannot look at my kids either.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even have to, like, if I'm looking at a baby, like a newborn baby, and I need to see like mom's, like history or labs that she had done,
Right.
or something like that. I have to go in like through special links so that they can see that I'm not just randomly searching a person, that I'm
Right.
doing it because I'm going through the baby's chart. So I don't understand how things like this
Yeah.
don't have to be HIPAA compliant.
What I don't understand is why the hell Meta is so concerned
About period tracking.
period tracking. Why do you care?
Why do you care?
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than period tracking, because period tracking then also shows your
fertility windows, mood,
all the things.
Well, like what you're feeling, all of those things. And a lot of these apps also track other things.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
A lot of things. They track your symptoms, a lot of general things. So it's like, what the hell does Meta want to do with that about us?
I don't
when
know.
we're ovulating, all of that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, next one, radioactive shrimp.
Yes.
We got that.
I love it. I loved your little post that you like
went
came like
viral.
upside down. I love it.
No, not that one. On Threads, like the one that I posted on Threads went viral. But yeah,
Yeah.
I had to do that.
was
I'm
so
like, this
funny.
is too funny. Like, how is this in our bingo card? I did not think that was going to be in my 2025 bingo card. My bingo card for 2025 has been on fire, but I mean, radioactive shrimp was not part of it. Anyway, so yeah, what does the FDA say? So this was, I'm reading from the FDA. So it was on August 19, 2025. The FDA is telling people not to eat certain bags of great value frozen raw shrimp sold at Walmart. The concern is that cesium-137, it's a radioactive material found in shipping containers linked to Indonesian processor BMS food. What shrimp to avoid? Great value frozen shrimp, white vename shrimp, easy peel, tail on, farm raised. I'm going to put if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to put a listed all like right here. Easy peel, tail on, farm raised, 2-pound bags. And then they have the particular Best Buy March 15, 2027 item code. I'm going to list it right here. If not, go to our socials and you're going to see it there because I posted all of this right there too. If you have it now, just throw it out, don't eat it, or return it. Walmart did come out and say that they will accept these returns. They typically do when there's like massive recalls anyway. So where was this sold? This one in particular, Walmart. And they were in stores in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Texas, and West Virginia.
Jeez.
Yeah. What the FDA found. Customs first flagged radiation at 4 ports: Los Angeles, Houston, Savannah, and Miami.
These are really big ports.
Exactly. FDA tests confirmed cesium-137 in one breaded shrimp sample at levels below their danger cutoff. That product never hit store shelves. But since shrimp from the same company was processed in unsanitary conditions, FDA recommended pulling the raw shrimp listed from Walmart. The company is now under an import alert to block future shipments until fixed. In health context, cesium-137 is a man-made radioactive material. The risk comes from long-term repeated exposure through food, which can raise cancer risk. So what you should do, check your freezer for exactly this, for like great value shrimp bag with those Best Buy dates and those product codes that I've listed. If it matches, throw it out or return it. If you ate it and feel concerned, go ahead and talk to your doctor. And also keep an eye out for FDA updates. I just saw this morning that there was another company from a different, I'm not sure if it was sold in Walmart or not, but there was another one. So check out the FDA updates. There was another company of frozen shrimp that was also involved in
all of this.
The investigation is still going. Obviously, look, we just found another brand. And the takeaway is that this is a focused warning, not about all shrimp. If your bag matches a great value product in the recall or that other one, that's probably already by now in the FDA website. Toss it. Otherwise, return it. Go for shrimp and other sources.
Okay, so this is our last one, and I just thought that this was crazy, and I think this really ties in onto what we were saying with our Vibrio episode on like global warming and just shifts in general and how it affects us. So,
crazy.
And again, I'm not trying to say because we don't really know the sequence of events for this, but it just made me think about that. So NJ officials or New Jersey officials investigate case of malaria in resident with no recent international travel. For those of you that don't know, we're not endemic to malaria. If someone has malaria and they didn't travel, where the hell did they get the malaria? This is by Anthony Johnson on August 19, 2025, and this came out on ABC7. New Jersey is investigating a malaria case in a Morris County resident who has not traveled outside of the country. Officials say that it may have been caught locally. It confirmed it would be the first local case in New Jersey since 1991, which is crazy. They basically are saying that the risk to the public is low, but again, we're going to talk about why this matters. Malaria spreads through the bite of infected mosquitoes, more specifically the Anopheles mosquito, and those mosquitoes do live in New Jersey. Local spread can happen if a mosquito bites one traveler who brought the malaria and then spreads it from biting to another person. Okay, so from biting another person. The US sometimes sees small clusters like this, but the overall risk remains relatively low. Now, what officials are doing, the state health department and the CDC are investigating and stepping up mosquito control. Local crews already sprayed in public areas around Morristown. Symptoms to watch for are fevers, chills, headaches, muscle aches, fatigue, even some nausea, vomiting, or even diarrhea. And these are all like really vague symptoms that like you can get literally from like anything. Symptoms can show up as soon as a week after a bite or much later. If you get a sudden fever without travel, see a doctor right away and just mention the malaria. And especially if you're just coming from that area. How to lower your risk: use bug repellent with DEET or oh my god, I can never say this word.
I know.
Picaridin. Wear long sleeves and pants at dawn and dusk. Dump standing water weekly around your homes. Make sure your window screens are intact because that's how they get in. Protect the pets too, and basically call a vet if you feel like they get sick, because they can also get this. And basically the takeaway is that no, you don't need to panic. Just know that there is a case. I thought that it was interesting.
It's another thing that is out to get us, unfortunately.
Yeah. Just know the symptoms. I mean, who knows? Like, this could have been that maybe this person was in the same area of someone else that traveled outside.
Yeah, but now,
where's that mosquito?
Exactly.
Right?
Where the hell is it?
Yeah. No need to panic.
Yeah.
Just know the symptoms and how to prevent the bites. If you get a sudden fever or flu-like illness, contact your doctor that same day. Just mention about that, especially if you're in that area.
Yeah.
And that was our Med News recap.
I know that was a lot. It was all over the place, but hey, that's the year. That's how it's been.
haven't done a Med recap in a long time.
I know.
And I love these episodes.
I know. They're just filled of so many things, and they're very tangent prone, as you could tell. But anyways, thanks for tuning in.
Okay.
Check out all those episodes of which we've covered similar things. They're really good. They're all linked here in the YouTube and whatnot. Thank you guys so much for, like I said, tuning in, responding, commenting, following us. If you haven't seen us on YouTube yet, go ahead and check that out. We put a lot of work and love into this. Check us out there too. Comment wherever it is that you're listening or watching this. Helps with everything, and we love hearing from you guys too. And also, if you have a particular topic or something like that you would like us to cover, let us know, wherever. If you're not into social media or anything like that, our email is funnymedicine305@gmail.com. And we're here for you on every Tuesday. Subscribe, like, do all the things. I'm doing the typical podcaster thing. Anyways, thank you guys for checking it out, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.